What's going on YouTube? Cool Rebels here, back with another Scarlet video, and today we're going to be talking about the new rule set that was just announced earlier today. Regulation D is now upon us, and what we're first going to look at is just what is allowed and what is not allowed. You know, we've been waiting for this for a while now, just because there's a general trend as to when these announcements tend to come out, and we were correct. It would be the first day of the first month, and what this means is it will be the format for the World Championships unless specified, right? So let's take a look at what is allowed and what isn't. So you can always find this information here in Cerebi. I'll even link this in the video description below. But for the most part, what is not allowed is basically the box legendaries, right? Like Kyogre, you know, Groudon, Palkia, you know, Calorexes, and some of you, or Zacian, some of you are thinking like, oh, thank God. Hey, listen, man, no matter what format it is, you gotta learn to play it and you gotta learn to like it if you want to play competitive Pokemon. All right, you can't just limit yourself based on what you like and what you don't like necessarily. All right, but what is allowed, well, actually, before we even get to that, I'm surprised that, you know, Walking Wake and Iron Leaves are not allowed. You know, that shocked me, actually. I thought that if anything, those two would be allowed, but hence they are not. So what is allowed? Basically, you know, the stuff from Pokemon Home, you know, the Hisuian Pokemon, some of the homies from Galarian region, you know, from Pokemon Sword and Shield, which we've have a lot of experience with, especially because of Dynamax. So I can talk a little bit about those, but I'm not gonna, you know, go into deep dives onto every single one of these mods just because it's not worth it. First of all, we would have like a 10-hour video because this is the largest update that we're gonna have in terms of a format, just with the sheer number of new Pokemon that we're able to use, and also some of them are just not VGC viable. Okay. And what I'm going to do is at least give some initial thoughts and ideas, not like full EV spreads, of course, or like full team building. I'm just going to give you like potential things to look out for and things you want to pay attention to, because these are the Pokemon that I believe are, at least from the get-go, are going to be very, very relevant. You're going to see them everywhere just because of, you know, how much potential they have and how much viability they have. All right, so without further ado, let's take a look at some of these options here. All right, I might as well start here. So we're going to actually start with two of these options here. We're going to talk a look about Ursaluna and Cresselia. And I feel like both of these have the right to their own video in itself. But at the very least, I can give you some ideas here. With Ursaluna, of course, everybody's going crazy about this thing. Again, another one of those triple stat Pokemon with very good special defenses. You know, base 130 HP, 140 attack, 105 defense. So think of like Iron Hands and Great Tusk. These are all Pokemon that, again, have triple digits in their first three stats. And then the special defense is the weaker of the stats, right? But again, it's still very, very good. And now with Guts, again, you're gonna have a lot more damage, especially because of the Flame Orb. You know, now you're just immune to Amoonguss Spore shenanigans. And then you don't really have to care about Burn. In fact, Burn actually helps you in this case. But this thing is going to go absolutely crazy, and it's going to be one of the first Pokemon that people are going to be using. Why not, right? You might as well. And of course, a very standard set here is just with Facade, you know, where you're going to get double the power when you're burned. You know, it's a stab move. Of course, you have Earthquake, which is really, really great next to Cresselia, which we're going to talk about in a second. Also, again, here, Protect, and then something like maybe either Headlong Rush or some other coverage move here. If you look at its coverage set, it actually gets a whole lot here. It even gets like Close Combat. You can even factor that in. It gets Bulk Up. I could even see some like potential Bulk Up sets, some passive, you know, setups. Very, very niche in my opinion, but again, still an option. Does get access to dark moves like Crunch, which is really good. Has access to Fire Punch, Hammer Arm, Gunk Shot. These are all like high horsepower is another one. Ice Punch, Play Rough, you know, a lot of good. Oh, even Seed Bomb, Rock Slide, and really it just all depends on the set, right? Even a Swords Dance set I could even imagine on Ursaluna here. That way you can just like not even have to invest so much into your attack, just go like all bulk, and then from there, you know, you take it, right? But I digress. Ursaluna is going to get its own video, but at the very least, you know, it's going to be great in Trick Room. Look at the speed. It's base 50. You know, there's a lot of other base 50 Pokemon like this Iron Hands, and you might even see a team with like these three together, right? And then paired with Cresselia with Levitate, you can actually Earthquake next to it. And actually with Ursaluna, there's pretty much any kind of Trick Room mod, you know, you can pair it next to. That's what you're going to go for. So something like Bronzong is going to be really good because of, again, of Levitate. You can Earthquake next to it. It's a Trick Room setter, just like Cresselia. Even something like Oranguru could even like give you some good play here because you have telepathy, so you can Earthquake next to Oranguru, and then you have the Instruct combination where you can just keep Earthquaking, and then, you know, of course you have a Trick Room set, or, you know, in the Oranguru. These are just like some potential ideas that you can do with Ursaluna, right? And then honestly, you know, now that I'm thinking about it here, like here's like Iron Hands, and also what I'm just like kind of thinking about here, just like what else can you have like with this other 3 slide? You know, like if you were to just slap on like maybe a Glastrier, for example, right? Like I'm just thinking like, okay, what is like a good Trick Room team just to start? Glastrier, right? And then maybe even like Abomasnow, right? And we'll talk about these two, you know, in a later part in the video, and it'll probably get its video in itself. And then something else here, like some other mod. But like this core right here, I could totally imagine like being like the starting parts of a Trick Room, right? And Glastrier is really, really good. Well, again, we're going to mention more about Glastrier in a second, but something like this could be quite good as like a starting Trick Room core. But yeah, Ursaluna is going to be really, really good. And again, Trick Room teams now get that big buff that they desperately needed for a while now. You know, Torkoal was great, but it just wasn't enough, right? You really, really needed that big physical sweeper. You know, yes, you had Iron Hands, yes, you had King Gambit, of course, but now that you have this thing, okay, now you can actually make great use of Trick Room teams. And now even with Glastrier, same idea concept, right? So that would probably be another video, right? How like Trick Room teams are getting big buffs. So yeah, but yeah, definitely Ursaluna in itself is going to be really, really good. So pay attention and start planning for it. If you're doing your team building, again, this is something to either use or prepare for. All right, let's keep going. All right, staying with the combination here. So let's look at Cresselia now. Again, we already spoke about Ursaluna. Cresselia with Levitate. Again, ground immunity is really important. And, you know, again, if you just consider like Garchomp's, Tinglu's, Great Tusk, and now even like the Ursaluna, it's really, really strong against it. It did get a little nerf. They took away some of its base defenses and special defenses, but it's still relatively bulky. You know, very standard sets here are, you know, it's going to involve Trick Room. You can also get access to Psychic, of course, your one attack move. But, you know, from here, you also get access to another signature move called Lunar Blessing. Not necessarily Lunar Dance, but Lunar Blessing, where you're going to heal 25% of not only your HP, but also your allies' HP, a quarter of it. Okay, and then you get a status cure. That's actually big. Okay, this is actually a really, really good support move. I can definitely see some sets running something like this. And then you have like Icy Wind, you know, a little bit more speed control. You also get Ice Beam if you really need it. Ice Beam is going to be pretty good, especially if you consider like Landorus is running around, which are like 4 times weak to ices, or the genies in general are, you know, weak to ice moves. But, you know, it just really depends on the set that you want to try and run. But yeah, definitely like Cresselia, this bulk is actually really, really good. Like bulky Trick Room setters are a novelty, okay, because they stay in the field, they're annoying, they support the Trick Room sweeper, okay, and then whenever the Trick Room is over, you can just click it again because, you know, you're a very bulky Pokemon here. Another Pokemon that also does relatively well with Cresselia is something like Heatran, I should say. So if you consider like how much fire types are running around, you know, not just like Arcanine, but, you know, other things that are going to be prevalent in the meta. Okay, like Flash Fire is actually really, really good. And now what really hurt Heatran in the past was like this 4 times ground weakness. But now you just have like Terrestrialization. You know, Terra Flying, for example, is going to be really, really good for it. And then just like this bulk in general, like 91 HP, 106 defense, 106 special defense, great special attackers. So something like, you know, Heat Wave, Flash Cannon, and then something like Earth Power, and then Protect in this last slot. Maybe a Life Orb over here, you know, just to make it like a very, very big hitter. Like Cresselia and Heatran have been together in the past, you know, especially with something like Ally Switch. You know, this thing was annoying. Now, this did get nerfed this generation around. You can't just keep spamming this, which was annoying. Okay, so I don't really recommend this move, but it does get some other moves that you can definitely consider, like with Cresselia and something like Heatran or Ursaluna. Okay, you do also get access to Helping Hand, so that's another support set that you can also have here. It also gets Light Screen. Okay, that's cool. Moonlight, you know, that's very situational. Shadow Ball, Stored Power, Terra Blast, of course. All right, so, but yeah, you can definitely like really, really make good use of it. I think this thing is like S tier. It's so good. And when paired with Ursaluna and or Heatran, I think it really makes both of them shine relatively well. So you could definitely pair this next to something like a Great Tusk as well, like Earthquake next to it. You know, again, Levitate is really, really good. So prepare for this one. Or if you want to use it yourself, definitely consider using it. All right. Ah, yes, this one. Listen, if you did not play Pokemon Sword and Shield competitively, you missed out, man. Regieleki was everywhere, right? This thing was an absolute demon, especially when Dynamax was a thing. You know, of course, you don't know what Transistor does. You're basically getting a free stab, you know, with your electric attacks. And you might say, oh, 100 base electric attack is not really all that much. Oh, well, listen, if you just factor in, like, you know, this thing gets, like, you know, just maybe a Life Orb user. It's very, very fast. The main selling point was, of course, Electro Web. You know, a stab, you know, special attacking Electro Web user was really, really good. It was the fastest Pokemon in the format. And then you just round it out with something like Thunderbolt, Protect here. And then this used to be Volt Switch, but now with Terrestrialization, you can just do Terra Blast. And then you can also just consider something like Terra Ice to really, really punish those ground types that Regieleki could not do anything against. So something like a Landorus, or even like Groudon. I know there's no Groudon right now, but just something to have some non-electric attack to click, okay, was a novelty for Regieleki. And now we have it, okay, so this is going to be really, really good. And then from here, you know, you do have to remember, or at least understand, you know, Aleki's speed tier. 252 Modest is going to be one of the speed tiers you're going to have to remember. And then if it's Timid, 277, so 278 beats it. Okay, now the question is, do you beat the Iron Bundle Boost Energy? You do not. So you have to keep that in mind when you're trying to use Regieleki. Okay, because Iron Bundle at max, okay, if you go Timid here, it will reach 206. So that one we know already, which is why some of these Pokemon like want to go for that 104 speed tier under Tailwind, so this way they can outspeed the bundle. But with the Booster Energy, you do not outspeed the Iron Bundle with your Regieleki, right? So you just have to keep that in mind. So you might even see some Scarf Elekis for that matter. I hope it doesn't really come down to that, but you just might very well see it because the bundle will just outspeed it, and then it'll have priority with the Icy Wind, chip it down, make the Eleki slower, and then potentially KO it with your other slot, right? But other than that, great speed control mon. And you know, in a format where we don't really have that many electric types besides the Iron Hands, all right, now we're gonna get it with Regieleki. You're gonna see this a lot paired with so for example, maybe like a Flutter Mane, something where you need speed control against, and then your second slot is just going to be able to pick up the KO. All right, so just be aware of this Aleki set over here. All right, let's keep going. All right, the next Reggie. How about Regidrago, man? So this is as good as it's going to get for Regidrago, okay? There's no Dynamax. There's no Zacian, okay? And now you have Terrestrialization, Terra Dragon, okay? There's no reason why you can't just take over. I know there's like Flutter Mane, of course, but like, bro, like Dragon Energy, okay, with Tornadus, like for example with like a Tailwind, which is something that people tried in Sword and Shield, but because of Dynamax, you didn't pick up enough KOs. But like Choice Specs, all right, Dragon Energy, Terra Dragon, Regidrago, just max, okay, this thing is gonna wipe the floor, wipe the field. Okay, now granted there is, of course, like again, Terrestrialization, you know, where you're able to at least resist this, or you know, maybe go Terra Fairy and you know, not get wiped by Regidrago Tornadus combinations. This will be something that people will try in the beginning, but you know, it's very easy to play around. You know, it's a very hyper offensive combination, but you know, just click Fake Out and then just, you know, break it. Okay, so just do that. But again, that doesn't mean it doesn't fear you. It doesn't create any fear. Okay, but you know, this is just one of those combinations where, like, again, people are gonna try now because, again, like I said, no Zacian, no Dynamax, you have Terra Dragon, Choice Specs, Tailwind, might as well, you know, give it a go. Okay, so those are my first thoughts on it. You know, will I think it's gonna be like super good? I don't think so, but will it be like viable? Yes. Okay, I feel like you can still see this on some hyper offensive cores, so you know, be aware. But yeah, definitely consider this. Oh man, the two horses, right? Glastrier and Spectrier. I've used both of these a lot back in Sword and Shield, right? Now, again, Dynamax was a thing for Glastrier. It really liked it, but again, Sword and Spectrier, right? Now, but we'll talk about Spectrier in a second, but I feel like Glastrier is going to be the better of the two. Look at this stats, right? Look at these stats. 100 HP, 145 attack, 130 defense, right? Something very similar to something like Ursaluna and some of the other ones, right? But now you got 110 special defense. Okay, so you're not even lacking here in the special defense department. 30 speed, you know, 0 IVs, bro. Okay, and you're pretty much wiping the floor. Again, like I said, Trick Room teams are getting a buff because of Ursaluna and Glastrier, and of course Cresselia now it has entered the frame, right? But then, you know, you did lose high horsepower. Okay, yeah, you lost that, which is kind of big. You still get close combat. You do still get close combat. All right. You still get Icicle Crash. You still get Heavy Slam. Okay, so that's good. All right, and then from there, do you get, what else do you get? Okay, you get Crunch as a dark move, sure. Oh, you do get Stomping Tantrum. All right, so you get that at the very least, so that's okay. Oh, but you also get Swords Dance. Okay, so that's another thing, like Icicle Crash, Heavy Slam, Swords Dance. Okay, and then Protect, and then you just slap this on with, like, you know, Amoonguss or, you know, Click Trick Room. I can totally see Glastrier doing this stuff. I even see like an Assault Vest set, which is something that was done, you know, within the Dynamax format, you know, coming about here. So, but yeah, like Glastrier is going to be really, really good in Trick Room. And then now that you have Abomasnow, you know, with these snow teams, like we mentioned in the beginning of the video, giving Glastrier a defense boost. Okay, now you add the fact that it has an Assault Vest, and you add the fact that there's an Aurora Veil on this thing. How do you break the Glastrier? In fact, forget about it. How about the Clear Amulet? Okay, because one thing that people used to do against Glastrier and Calyrex Ice in general was, you know, they pivoted their Incineroar to Intimidate it. Well, newsflash, there's no Incineroar in this game, okay? And now you have a Clear Amulet, so, you know, you can't really Intimidate it anymore. So now what are you gonna do? Okay, I'll tell you what you're gonna do. You're gonna die, okay? Now, I just wait for the day where, like, Glacial Lance, Calyrex Ice is going to be returning. I know it got a little bit nerfed, but again, this thing is going to be good, especially with those snow teams, with Abomasnow. I can totally see a lot of different combinations here. Snow gets a buff, okay? Like, Glastrier is a whole different animal than just only, like, Iron Bundle, right? So, yeah, those are just some of my ideas there. Spectrier, okay, I don't think this is going to be as good as Glastrier, but I don't think it's going to be, like, not relevant. Okay, because again, 145 special attack is still very, very good. 100 base HP. Speed is still pretty good. However, there is something still called a Flutter Mane running around the better ghost type here, and unfortunately, because you lose the speed against it, that might make it not used. Okay. However, that being said, Flutter Manes at the moment are bulky. Okay, which means they're slower. So if you just go max here in something like this with, like, maybe a Focus Sash set, or maybe like even a Life Orb set or some other set, but ideally if you're like faster than it, okay, and then you just start picking up Grenade KOs, you can quickly steamroll entire teams, right? You just have, like, you know, Shadow Ball, Will-O-Wisp, you do get access to Snarl, here's Protect. This is a very standard Sword and Shield set, you know, back in the day, right? But again, this is something that, you know, you can use. What else? Does it get any, like, new moves this generation? I know there's Calm Mind, there's Dark Pulse, okay. It does get Draining Kiss. Okay, that's new, so that's pretty good. Haze, Hex, Nasty Plot. Okay, so definitely some combinations you can probably do with Spectrier. You know, where you can make it an aggressive set, a support set. Really, all depends on you. But I still feel like Flutter Mane is going to outclass it. But that doesn't mean Spectrier is going to be, like, not playable. I still think it has some niche that maybe we just don't know at the moment. Of course, you know, it's only been like a few hours that the format has been released, but I definitely think the Glastrier is going to be better of the two. All right, so let's keep on going. Okay, how about the genies? Now we'll start with the Landorus genies. Okay, so it's a welcome back, you know, for Landorus. A lot of people are very excited to use this thing again. I use it a lot in Sword and Shield. I think it was on like maybe 70% of some of my teams, especially depending on the format. You can run a lot of different ways. Of course, it's going to get Earthquake. And then from there, you can even do like Swords Dance sets. Or you could even do like Assault Vests, you know, with U-turn pivots. Just depending on what you want to do with it. It gets Rock Slide. It even gets Rock Tomb, extra speed control. Or you can just also go with like Terra Blast over here. And, you know, just change your Terra type. So this way you're not 4 times weak to Ice. So you can also do that. But I am interested in like those Swords Dance sets. I think Swords Dance is really good on Landorus, man. Like, especially if you just partner this thing next to Amoonguss, which is what a lot of people did back in Sword and Shield. You're just able to, you know, protect it, set up the Swords Dance, then go for those big max airstreams or those max quakes. Of course, you don't have that this time around, but that doesn't change the fact that you are a flying type. Okay, you're immune to ground, which is very, very good. You got Intimidate support. All right, so now we're just not only using Arcanines or it's like some other Pokemon. You know, there's no Incineroar yet, of course, but now we've got Landorus. Clear Amulet, again, can be run here. So this way you can't intimidate the own Landorus. But then, how about this? There's a reason why I put Orthworm over here, right? Like, can you just imagine what some of those Orthworm teams are thinking right now? Why? Like, I can just use Landorus, click Earthquake next to Orthworm. All right, how about that? And then I even get like an Intimidator next to this thing, okay? So just pitching out the idea there, like, again, this is something you can consider using with your Landorus. And then again, 91 speed, like, again, you're going to lose out to some of the base 100s. But again, just make this thing bulky. You got Terrestrialization on your side. Is there anything else you get here that's new that I haven't seen already? No, again, like we said, we did say Rock Slide a new turn. Gets, okay, Sandsear Storm we're going to talk about in a second. Does get Stomping Tantrum this time around, so that's pretty good. But yeah, okay. So I said what I said about Landorus. Again, we'll do like full videos on like, you know, Landorus in general, but again, just give me some ideas out there with this thing. All right, the other one, Sheer Force. All right, Life Orb sets. Okay, this thing is actually going to go bonkers here because it gets a new move here, a new spread, Precipice Blades for that matter. I forget the name off the top of my head. There it is, Sandsear Storm. So with Sandsear Storm, tongue twister there. All right, base power 100, only 80% accurate. That's going to be very problematic, I would say. Now, you do have a 20% chance to burn, but again, we're basically saying we don't care about that. We just want to do a little bit more damage with the spread move. So we're just going to go Sheer Force here. Okay, and this is basically now our Precipice Blades. All right, that is on the special side. And then from there, you know, Earth Power. Okay, and then do you get like a flying move now, or is it just Terra Blast, Terra Flying, right? I feel like it also gets Sludge Bomb, right? I remember that was the thing it got. Let me just type it in. Do you get Sludge Bomb? You do get Sludge Bomb. Okay, so that's good for you. And I remember you also got Psychic, so that's okay. That was something from like, you know, for Terra Poisons. I can totally see some use. Oh, it also gets Nasty Plot. Oh, that's pretty good. All right, you can set up Nasty Plot plays. Okay, but yeah, definitely, you know, this thing is going to do a lot of damage, and the fact that you're 1 point faster than base 100s is huge. Okay, so you can just do something like this, where you're just always outspeeding the base 100s, which is 167. Then from there, you know, you could just do something like this, and again, because of the Life Orb, you're not even like, you know, taking damage here, so it's also really beneficial. You know, you're just going like pretty much offense here. Okay, with your Landorus, but I'm interested in trying out this move. Like, you're gonna miss, okay? So, but as long as you just like keep using it, you're gonna hit a bunch, okay? So don't be afraid. I feel like this is gonna be a good mon, okay? I understand the accuracy, but you know, use the mon. It's gonna be good, okay? And I can totally see this paired with like Regieleki. Just get Speed Control with Electro Web, and then just smash things with like Sandsear Storm. Definitely. All right, let's keep going. Okay, how about the other two genies? How about Tornadus now? Again, like we said, Tailwind will be the main beneficiary of this. And then, you know, just the day we get Kyogre again, you're going to see these two, you know, be best friends. But until then, of course, you got Tailwind. And then again, look at this. It's a very fast Pokemon. Does a lot of damage. All right, and it's much bulkier than like maybe like your Murkrows. You don't need to use Murkrow anymore. Stop using that thing. Use this thing now, right? So, you know, you can definitely see this on maybe some potential rain teams. You still get Hurricane, so that's still good. But I feel like without Kyogre, I don't know if you want to run that. So maybe you might just go with like Air Slash. But you also get that new move, right? Bleak Wind Storm, which gives you a 30% chance, not 20 like the other two, a 30% chance to drop speed. So that's another speed control move, you know, that you can, you know, use with your Tornadus. And not only that, okay, you also get access to Sunny Day, right? So this is really good next to Great Tusk. Like, you know, I could just totally see it now. Great Tusk, Tornadus, you know, you got Tailwind, you got Sunny Day, you might as well just go for it, right? And then from there, you know, go figure. And then, you know, you can just slap on your Flutter Mane here, and now you have the beginnings of your Sun team. So what a lot of people will do, they'll just take their Sun teams with those Murkrow Sun teams, drop the Murkrow, and use Tornadus, right? I can totally see that happening. And it makes a lot of sense. You know, you might as well keep things simple in the beginning of a format, right? Don't like try something super crazy. But again, you might as well, because it is the beginning of the format. So I can totally see that happening in terms of trying to use Tornadus. Is there anything else it gets? I know it also gets Rain Dance, right? So manual rain, where you can just set the rain and, you know, try something with some of your Swift Swimmers, which again, we're dedicate a whole nother video for that. But I feel like this is also pretty good. And then you just slap on Protect here. If you can't afford Protect, you know, if you want to run another move here, I definitely think the Cobra Cloak is going to be really good. So this way you don't get your own speed drop, you don't get, you know, faked out, you know, that kind of thing. I can totally see Cobra Cloak Tornadus being a thing. But as far as like, you know, being a Tailwind Sunny Day user with like Bleak Windstorm and then Air Slash single target, this might be the way to go about it. And then just change your Terra type, maybe even go like Terra Ghost for something. But I digress. I think Burkle days are done. I feel like this is going to be the premier Prankster Mon, you know, unless you're, you know, besides Grimmsnarl. But it does have another one next to it. You do have Thundurus now. Okay, so Eerie Impulse was one of the Prankster moves that it got. It also got Thunder Wave. Okay, so Prankster Thunder Wave, Prankster Eerie Impulse. Then you just have Thunderbolt over here, and then you just have some filler slot over here. And then this was often like a Citrus Berry. Yo, I'm just thinking of like Sword and Shield days of how we used to use Thundurus back in the day. And then this is like some slap on here. Could be like Terra Blast, or it could be something else. But Wind Bolt Storm, yeah, you can even just do this. 20% chance to para. Okay, so you know, as good as it'll get for Thundurus. Again, you know, you could go max. You can go like a bulkier Citrus Berry set. But I digress. I feel like this is also going to see some play. And now you also even get what's that other move called? If you don't even go like Thunder Wave, Eerie Impulse, you do get Electric Terrain, right? Yeah, so now you might even see some manual Electric Terrain usage going out. You know, paired with maybe even the Iron Hands or something, something with Cork Drive. So something that someone might explore. But again, just some options, just some ideas that I'm gonna give you. All right. The other one, I don't think the other one's as good. But correct me if I'm wrong. All right. Let's move on to Enamorus. Okay, so both forms are going to be pretty good. If you just look at its stats, 106 speed is actually really, really nice. So all things considered, you can just outspeed the base 100s that go to like 167. So if you just go like Adamant here, you're going to want Contrary on this, by the way. Because again, if you read the ability, if this Pokemon has a stat stage raised, it is lowered instead, and vice versa. So if you want to intimidate this thing, it's actually going to get a boost. So you might as well just take full advantage of that and just go with like a physical set. But in terms of like, not adamant, like if you go Jolly here, you just go like 168, just outspeed those base 100s, then just go max attack here, and then just a couple points here, and then just round it out here. Something like this with like maybe a Life Orb set. Okay, it does get that other move. What is it called? Like, well, this is a physical one, right? So Play Rough here. I think it also gets Superpower, right? Yeah, this is the whole idea behind it. So Play Rough and Superpower, and then maybe just Protect over here is going to be really, really good. Because when you use Superpower, you're lowering your attack and defense, but you're actually raising it because of Contrary, right? So think about Lurantis that had it. So I feel like this is going to be, it'll have some uses there as well. You can also make this like relatively bulky. You don't even have to go like full speed. You can add some more here, but again, at least have these two moves. This is going to be the 2 stab moves, and then maybe like Terra Blast over here, or maybe some other coverage move here that, you know, I'm just completely missing at the moment. But you know, just showing you guys some ideas here. The other Enamorus, Overcoat is really good. So now you don't really care about Amoonguss. All right, you can get around it. And if you look at this speed tier, that's actually really, really good because now you're slower than a base 50 speed tier mon. You know, hello Ursaluna or Iron Hands. So in Trick Room, you're gonna underspeed them, aka outspeed them in Trick Room, which is really good. And just look at these stats. Look at this bulk stat. Like, of course, look, 110 defense, 100 special defense, 135 special attack. Okay, Moonblast and Springtide Storm, right? I can already just see it right now. And then this is probably going to get some sort of Life Orb, I would imagine, then Protect. Some filler move in that 3rd slot, who knows what it is. But if you just like max this out, then just go something like Modest Nature, you know, just go for like maybe even like Modest 116, and then just invest the rest into like your bulk. You know, I don't even have any like kind of calc here. I'm just like just throwing this in here. Of course, we'll optimize this later, but again, what I'm just explaining here is you're going to go a lot of HP, a little bit in your special attack, and then just split up your defenses. You may do some calcs for something, but it's so bulky already, you know, so I can totally see this being a thing. But fairy flying, that's a great advantage to have there. So ground immunity again for Enamorus over here. Okay, but I think it's going to be really, really good mon, especially in Trick Room. Another Trick Room Pokemon. Trick Room teams are so good right now. They got a lot of new tools and a lot of new toys to play with. Okay, next up, let's go back to Sword and Shield and let's look at Urshifu, man. Okay, so like the main set that Urshifu was like, you know, Wicked Blow, you know, Sucker Punch, Close Combat. Okay, and then some other move here like Protect, right? And I know Wicked Blow got a nerf, you know, where it got 5 less base power, but like, bro, it's still like an Urshifu, man. This thing still goes through Protect, and now you have a Qianpao next to it. This thing is going to do even more damage. So did you really nerf it? Is it really nerfed? I don't think so. Okay, and consider all the rune Pokemon, how they're all weak to like fighting coverage. Like Urshifu is still chilling, man. It is still absolutely chilling. You just go max here, all right? And then, you know, you just pretty much, you can even like go Banded Urshifu, Banded Urshifu, like forget the Protect, put the Focus Sash here instead, okay? And just run something like, I don't know, what else do you get? U-Turn, I know you get that. Drain Punch, that's another one. Fire Punch, whatever coverage move you get. The point is, Iron Head, there you go. There's your Fluttermate answer, Terra Steel. Okay, but then like even this one, again, Choice Band, Aqua Jet, okay? Surging Strikes, all right, and then Close Combat, and then Protect. Again, another thing next to Qianpao, you know, it just goes right through Protect. It doesn't matter, okay? So, you know, with Qianpao and these two, I can definitely see these on a lot of different teams. So just be aware, you know, it was a menace in Sword and Shield. Dynamax was a thing, but again, you just crit right through it, so does it really matter? You know, be ready to face Aleki Urshifu. Yeah, again, here's another one, right? This was a very, very classic combo in Series 7, like where you just have Electroweb spam, okay? And then from there, everything gets slowed, and then Urshifu just picks up with Wicked Blow, right? That was a very, very classic combination, you know, back in the early part of the Isle of Tundra, right? And I expect to see that again, especially with some other options that you now have with the Rune Pokemon, so just be aware. Okay, so now let's talk about the Galarian Birds again. These are all Pokemon that I've used a lot back in Sword and Shield, and especially this one, Galarian Moltres was just like so good. Max Airstream, Max Darkness. It was a great tool against Calyrex, aka the Spectrier. But now, again, with the Dark Flying typing, very, very good typing. Dark Flying, you know, that resists the fighting stuff, okay? Not resist, but like, you know, neutralizes it. But again, with Berserk, you know, if you're dropping below half, it's a really good ability. You're going to get a +1 in your special attack, but you basically have Fiery Wrath, which again means, you know, Rock Slide that doesn't miss. And it's a dark version of it, special attack version, you know, and then from here you can just go like Air Slash, Nasty Plot, and then Protect. You might even see like some Hurricane usage out of this and just put it on like maybe a Rain Team, for example, but like Galarian Moltres is actually really, really good. You can put like Safety Goggles on this, a Life Orb on this, and it's just going to do so much damage. It's really, really good. Okay, some sets you can also consider. You know, maybe you can even just slap on an Assault Vest on this thing and just go with like Snarl here. Okay, and then some other coverage move over here, and just change your Terra type into like maybe like Terra Fire, Terra Steel, just to like not take the damage from the Fluttermate, because again you are a dark type. But Galarian Moltres is a thing, so just be aware that the Galarian Articuno with competitive is actually really, really good. Again, think of all the Intimidators on the team. Again, Psychic Flying not the greatest of typings, of course, but again, you have the Terrestrialization to help you against that. And unlike the other ones, you do get access to Tailwind. You also get access to Trick Room, by the way. So this Pokemon, again, even with like, you know, setting up that Trick Room, you have some potential Trick Room sweepers now. But I feel like Tailwind is going to be its main niche. It does get access to Freezing Glare is a really, really good move. But is it going to be as good as Galarian Moltres? You know, again, 10% chance to free it. Is that really, really good? I don't think so. But Again, base 125 special attack, 95 speed. It's bulky, okay? And you can do a lot of damage. Okay, Tailwind is very, very good. So I'm sure someone will find some niche for this. But I digress. I feel like Galarian Zapdos, I already prepared this Assault Vest set. This is going to be pretty good. Terra Fire, so you don't get burned, and you can resist the Flutter Mane Moonblast. But again, Thunderous Kick is its signature move. You know, you're dropping defenses. And again, Brave Bird, very, very hard-hitting move. Close combat, of course, and then your pivot move of like U-turn, for example, is going to be really, really nice, where you just pivot out into something else. But again, another flying type, another ground immunity, okay, that you can value with the Galarian Zapdos. And again, Defiant, another Defiant Pokemon. So we missed Defiant Pokemon, right? So Zapdos is another thing to watch out for, especially if you have your Intimidate mons on the team. Just be careful when leading it, because the Zapdos, when it's +1, is going to do a whole lot of damage. So just be aware of that, okay? But I am excited to use the Galarian Birds again, mostly these two, but definitely the Galarian Moltres. But the other versions of the birds, Zapdos, regular Zapdos is going to be really, really nice. Does it get Tailwind again? I think it does. It does get Tailwind again, so that's really, really good. You get Tailwind Thunderbolt. Okay, Static is a great ability because now any physical contact, you can potentially paralyze them. This is great in Dynamax on those rain teams. Again, Electric Flying is a very, very good typing there. Okay, because think about it, electric types being weak to ground types, you don't care about that because you're also a flying type now. So you have some immunity there, but then from here, you can do a whole bunch of other stuff. Like you can even do like discharge plays next to ground types. So you can pair this next to Landorus if you want. You also get access to Heat Wave, Tailwind, Thunderbolt, Heat Wave, Protect. So you can definitely put this on like maybe potential Sun teams for that matter. But Zapdos is a very, very flexible mon. I think it's going to do a lot of work in this format. It just depends on the player and how they want to use it. But I definitely think, with just the fact of this electric flying type is going to be really, really good. So you got Regieleki, you got Zapdos, electric Pokemon, the electric type in general gets a nice little buff. So that's really, really good to see. And hopefully we can see a lot more Zapdos eventually. Okay, lastly, let's take a look at some of the Hisuian Pokemon, right? So we have like Hisuian Sneasler, the Zoroark, Goodra, Lilligant, and Cleaver. These, I believe, are the best of the bunch as far as like what's available. Again, I can't spotlight all of them, otherwise we're gonna have like an insanely long video. But at the very least, let's start here. Hisuian Goodra, Steel Dragon type with Sap Zipper. So that just tells me Amoonguss gets invalidated, and then if you just slap on some like Assault Vest over here, what does Flutter Mane do here? I don't think it does much at all. Now it does get access to Flash Cannon and Draco Meteor. Okay, now that being said, I don't think the Flash Cannon KOs the Flutter Mane, just because Hisuian Goodra special attack set isn't like super great, and Flutter Mane's special defense is actually very, very high. So you have to consider that. But you do get access to Ice Beam, which is great against a lot of the ground types and a lot of the flying types that are running around. And then from there, maybe even like Flamethrower is going to be really good. Again, in general, nice little coverage move to have there against other potential steel types. But the Goodra is going to be one of those mons where like maybe its damage isn't all that great, but can you remove it? Does it sit around on the field? Yes. So I feel like it's just going to be an annoying Pokemon that's hard to remove, that just deals chip damage here and there. But it gets great coverage move. All right, so that's something to be aware of. Lilligant, it's faster than the original Lilligant, so it still gets after you, I believe. Still gets Sleep Powder, and you still get Leaf Storm, right? Wait, but it's actually a physical attacker, right? Yeah, all right. So Leaf Blade, for that matter. I'm not sure how good this is going to be, but again, you can run it along with the Torkoal stuff. So we'll see how it is. But again, it's definitely going to see some play, at least on those Torkoal Sun teams. So definitely watch out for that. Then from here, Zoroark, normal Ghost type. And again, some people have talked about this already. What does Annihilate do now? Like, Annihilate can't even touch this thing, okay? You got your Drain Fist, that doesn't do anything because Ghost, and then you got your Rage Fist, that doesn't do anything because normal typing. So what does that do? So, an Illusion is just an hilarious ability in general, okay? I can totally see some memes coming out of this, but again, Hisuian Zoroark is something that a lot of people are going to be trying to use, and the mind games begin now with this thing. So just be aware of that. but I definitely think this is going to see a lot of play. So we'll see how it goes from there. Sneasler. I put Sneasel. I meant to put like Sneasler. Yeah, here we go. Sneasler. Very, very good speed here. 120 speed, 130 attack. This is a bit as glass of a cannon as it gets. Look at that bulk. It has like nothing. Fighting poison is pretty good. It's not bad. Poison touch. 30% chance of poison. That's pretty good. Unburdened. I definitely can see some play here. But that main move that it has here, the Dire Claw, you know, 80 base power, 50% chance to sleep, poison, or paralyze. All right, we're rolling the dice there, but again, that's something that's very, very interesting in terms of what it can do, and it still gets fake out, right? Still gets fake out. Do you get close combat? You do get close combat. Okay, so we'll see what happens with this thing, but at least with these first 2 or 3, this is the set that people are definitely going to be trying to use. But we'll see how Sneasler turns into play, right? So fighting coverage is still really good against the ruined Pokemon. Okay, so from there, we'll see who decides to take on Sneasler for that matter. But Cleaver over here, Stone Axe, again, setting hazards with Stealth Rock. Okay, so that's actually really, really good. And again, X Scissor with your Bug move. And you get a whole bunch of other moves like Close Combat. You even get access to dark moves like Night Slash. And then, you know, just Swords Dance. And it also gets access to Tailwind. So think of like regular Scissor with Tailwind. So you can even make it in a supportive sense like that. In that regard, base 135 attack is actually really, really good. So we'll see how this Pokemon just enters the competitive play. But, you know, something like this, you know, with the hazards is going to be interesting. I'm not quite sure how it's going to be used, but I feel like some people are going to try it. But at the very least, I know people are going to try at least the Hisuian Gudra and the Zoroark over here, for that matter. But yeah, I just wanted to keep this video short. Just give you some introductory ideas. I know I didn't cover every single mon. You know, the video is not meant to be like super long, but let me know what you think of the new regulation set. Let me know what Pokemon you think you're going to be excited to try out and what some potential teams that you're going to be trying to use. And again, if you want to do team building with me, sign up on the channel. Tier 3 sub is the way to go. And again, if you also are interested in Tier 2, where you build the team yourself and you want me to fix it up and optimize it, that's also an option. Check the video description below. Check the comment section. We have the link that you can click to join the channel, and then from there you can message me on Discord, and then we can schedule that one-on-one Discord call if it is Tier 3. Otherwise, if it's Tier 2, you're able to just message me the Pokebase, and then I'll fix it up as it is, right? So if you're interested in team building, definitely sign up now, because, you know, Regulation D is upon us. I know we're not done with Regulation C just yet. You know, the ladder reset already, so we still have some tournaments and regionals and NAIC to prepare for. So if that is also something that you're interested in, you know, if you're going to Milwaukee or Fresno, definitely sign up on the channel. All right, and get your coaching session with me. So this way we can get you the squad that you need to be able to compete in these kinds of tours. All right, we'll be back with another video in the next one, guys. Peace out and have a good one.